Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you can tell, but I feel a little bit ill. I think I'm getting a little bit of a cold. I had a bunch of videos planned, but I can't really be asked for them. I can be asked for moaning about stuff that doesn't really matter. I'm always in the mood for that. So that's going to be this video today. I think I actually had the idea at like 1 o'clock this morning. I woke up and wrote some video ideas down in my notes and then fell asleep. Stuff like Pap John, Day of Reckoning, 50 pizza. Today at 1:41. Insane People Fat in Book. The Entitlement if YouTubers. And I've got a little list of YouTubers and I wrote this down whilst half asleep. Now, going forward, this is all just my opinion and conjecture. Obviously, it's not someone else's opinions. You can agree with them, you can disagree with them. That's the beauty of opinions. I ain't Jesus, this ain't the gospel truth. This is just stuff that annoys me. The sheer entitlement of certain YouTubers, big YouTubers. This is just going to be a rant. Rant as in aunt, not rant as in ant. Disagree with me all you like, but I'm always right about this stuff. No. But who to start with first? I guess the one that inspired this idea is Zoella. Zoella was obviously one of the biggest YouTubers of the British squad and has fallen from grace as of a year or so ago. Continuous controversies made her fall from the public eye. She doesn't really upload on YouTube anymore. She only really uploads on her vlogging channel. And really, she only really does Vlogmas or vlogs when she has new products that she wants to promote coming out. But she was like a heavyweight back in the day. And back in the day, by back in the day I mean about 3 years ago. Every YouTuber and their mum was doing books. We're writing books, we're publishing books. And this pisses me off. Writing books for a lot of YouTubers are so obviously cash grabs. Look at the Pointless book by Alfie Days, which apparently he ripped off of someone else. It's literally pointless and he made a lot of money from it, but that's fine. Make your money, fine, whatever. However, my issue with Zoella is she wrote a series of books, I think there were 3 books in total, called Girl Online. Fictionalised novels about some girl that runs away to be with some bloke she met online. Brilliant. Now my issue with this is that she didn't actually write them, she had them ghost written. I'm a writer myself, even though my novel, sorry I'm a bit loopy because I feel sick. The novel I'm writing about is a reptilian that causes Brexit. Topical! But it's a novel that I am writing nonetheless and it's coming from my pure imagination. What annoys me about this is she doesn't do anything. She doesn't. So her and Alfie, they have this, I hate that I know this stuff. They have this office and they call it A to Z something, publishing, I don't know. It's just an office where they gave all their mates jobs and why am I laughing? It's not even funny. It's an office in which Zoella can pretend she's like the big boss lady, you know, but all they really do is muck around, do arts and crafts all day. It's like a creche. They just muck around, do arts and crafts all day and always like order dum donuts. I hate that I hate that I know this stuff, man. Like, this information is fucking useless and it's taking up valuable headspace which could be filled with stuff about reptilians instead for my novels. Now, she's been famous and successful for a long time. She was one of the originals. She's been on YouTube for at least 10 years, right? So she's one of the ones that got successful really early on. A lot of YouTubers like to do this thing where they pretend they're busy. They're a lot more busy than they actually are. Oh, I've had meetings all day. So what? Your meetings are probably just you sitting around talking about how great you are. Don't forget, Alfie was a daily vlogger for a long time, so we see how busy he gets at stuff. My point is, these guys were successful really early on and they have a lot more free time than, say, somebody working a Monday to Friday 9 to 5. If you're going to write fiction, I believe it should come from the heart. It should be something that you're fucking passionate about, not just a quick and easy cash grab because you've got 10 million followers who will happily like lap up any scraps you throw them. She could have easily written the entire thing herself without the help of a ghostwriter, because it's not as if she does that much really. You know that advent calendar she came out with that was £50, it was just full of glitter? Yeah, how many meetings did it take to put together that? Like, do you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean? And this is what I mean by the entitlement of some big YouTubers. They think that because they got famous in a certain way, they can be across the board and do anything and everything, which will lead me to my next point in a minute. This isn't the case. A lot of big YouTubers who got successful when they were younger are only really good at doing YouTube. So when they branch out to other things, they're not like that good at... I feel really mean saying this, but I feel like because they got successful pretty easily, the market was a lot less saturated back then, so I think it was probably easier to be bigger as long as you were consistent about it. Some of them don't seem to understand hard work and discipline. I'm saying some, not all, because obviously there are some who are bloody brilliant, like PewDiePie, like Felix, but others are a bit lacking. Case in point, Tanya Burr. She was also one of the original British vlog squad. She was friends with Zoella, though I don't think any of them were actually friends, and that's why they never hang out anymore. It's not as if they're busy, they could hang out if they wanted to, but it's usually just like a once a year thing. But this lot, they used to like get together around Christmas and do Vlogmas and yada 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 yada. Do lots of collabs together, yeah? Now a few years ago, Tanya Burr, she got very big on YouTube. I think she got about at least 4 million subscribers in her heyday, at least. She was married to another YouTuber called Entitlement, and she decided that she wanted to become an actress. Now I'm not going to be too hard on her, purely because I think she's probably a nice person, and I think she is going through a difficult time at the moment because she's been chasing this acting dream for a while and it's simply like not working, other than bit parts here and there. Like I think she was on Holby City or Casualty, one of those shows recently. It's like a very minor 1 or 2 episode part, maybe 1 episode. I think Tanya is someone that tried to use her online fame to translate into getting further ahead in a certain industry, the acting industry, and it just didn't work. Now these people are very wealthy, or at least did make a lot of money back in the day before there was like demonetization and all this bullshit. Tanya got an A-list acting coach that I don't think she ever sees. That was it really. At the same time she decided to do this, she decided then that YouTube was far too good for her and she completely forgot her roots. And in interviews, she's trying to make out that she was never really that into YouTube, even though she was one of the biggest faces of like the British YouTube lot for a long time.
Since you've started out, how have you found the internet's changed? It's very different to when you first uploaded your first video, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a ton of YouTube, so I never really have. Even when I was uploading more regularly, I just use it for watching music videos and things like that. So yeah, I've heard that it's changed quite a bit.
Which is a total slap in the face to the people who got you to the position that you're in now. To add to that, she has, or maybe had, enough money to go to like a proper drama school or buy her way into an acting school. How do you expect people to take you seriously if you aren't taking yourself seriously and your craft, if this is what you want to do? And I don't think it is what she wants to do, because, you know, back when she was a YouTuber, she kind of like did everything. She had a makeup line, a minor makeup line, Tanya Burr's Cosmetics. She had a cookbook, she came out of that kind of stuff, and now it's acting. I think maybe the chase is to be famous rather than to be an actor. That's just what I've gathered from it. Because if you did want to be an actor, then you should get proper training and go work at a theatre, go into a drama school, like do it properly. If I got really rich and famous from YouTube tomorrow, go into an acting school for a year or so, it's definitely something I'd consider, because it seems like bloody fun. It's just an interest of mine. But I've taken acting lessons before, I've taken comedy lessons, I might take some writing lessons. If I'm, you know, on a personal level, if I'm interested in doing something, then I want to learn it properly, and, you know, I'm humble enough that I would go and be taught by professionals. To me, it's just quite egoic to try to move over, because when she said she wanted to be an actress, She was saying in interviews like, oh yes, I want to, you know, be in a film by next year. Like, I don't mind Hollywood, maybe a bit of theatre. Which is just quite... Well, it's just very entitled, really, isn't it? Just because, like, you've been famous on YouTube does not mean that you should immediately be in a Hollywood film. And to forget your roots is ridiculous. There's a guy called Joe Sugg, who's the younger Sugg, the younger brother of Zoella. And he was just cast in something called Waitress, and he's been on Strictly Come Dancing. And he's always really thankful towards his YouTuber audience, and he's, I think, incredibly humble. Like, out of all of the British vlogger lot, he seems like the most down to earth. To me, it just seems like Tanya wants to be the cool, moody girl, actress, starlet. You spent years cultivating this image of being like the bubbly girl next door who bakes cakes and stuff. Just a bit bizarre. And incredibly entitled to think that you can just go from one industry and swan into another without having any prior experience of the new industry or like bothering to really learn the ropes. It's just bloody arrogant, isn't it? I mean, best of luck though. If you are really serious, just join a drama school. I have on this list Shane Dawson. Could this be my most controversial opinion yet? Because on YouTube, you're not allowed to criticise Shane Dawson. Daddy Dawson. Can't do it. It's like YouTube career suicide. How could I dare? I don't think the sun shines out of his arse. I used to quite like him actually, and I can enjoy him. I do think he is funny, but I was going to do a separate video about this, you know, last month, about the recent Shane Dawson series that came out with Jeffree Star. Documentaries, vlogs, glorified vlogs, come on people. I was going to do it, but then I couldn't bear to like sit through it all again and make notes, and I just really couldn't be bothered. So I'll just sum up a few of the issues I found in this video. There is a bit in that glorified vlog, because adding dramatic music and fake reactions to things doesn't suddenly make something a documentary. I could put credits like in this video right now, doesn't suddenly make it a documentary. Get that man a Netflix series. He did most of his filming at the beginning of the year, and then he was still late towards the end of the year when he was editing it. Netflix are not going to take on someone that disorganised. Let's all pull our heads out of our asses, okay? For more of a comprehensive look at all the issues with that series, then there's a guy called D'Angelo Wallace. He did a video on it and it was bloody good, and I love his monotonous delivery, so go check that out. But there is a bit in one of the first episodes where Shane is in his new multi-million-dollar mansion in LA that he bought, complaining that Jake Paul is higher than him on the Forbes rich YouTuber list.
I feel stupid that that's not my life, because I feel like I look at the Forbes list and I see YouTubers like,
I'ma be on Forbes list, I ain't even 20.
This, I don't know, this sounds like a rant, but it's not. But I do see like all these YouTubers who started after me. It is embarrassing. Like when I look at that Forbes list and I look at like Alizee, Markiplier, all these people, I'm so not close to that it's like crazy. Like I'm so like if I was on that list, I would be like in like the bottom 1,000. Do you know what I mean?
Like the guy genuinely got upset that Jake Paul makes more money than him when he's a multi-millionaire in a multi-million-dollar mansion in LA and like one of the most loved YouTubers. Like, how is that not enough? You don't want to be like Jake Paul. Very few people over the age of 18 like Jake Paul. Why would you compare yourself to him? Now, say what you want about the Paul brothers, but they know how to grind. They both used to daily vlog. They constantly bombard children to buy their merchandise. They know how to stay relevant and in the news. Meanwhile, Shane Dawson made what, 2 series this year? And you're complaining that you're not as rich as Jake Paul. Do you hear yourself? Was I meant to have sympathy for you? So you don't work as hard as, you know, 2 of the other biggest creators on this platform, but you expect to make more than them just because you're older and you've been around for longer. Get over yourself. Oh, and then after complaining about this, he gets on a golf cart in his property and starts driving around with Ryland, like arguing with Ryland or something, I don't know. Without a trace of irony or self-awareness.
sipping on loco. All these bitches screaming they be off for the cocoa. It's the famous now, we gone by tomorrow. Watch your pause!
Well, you're not a money-driven person.
Look at my dogs.
Of course, that was put in to manipulate the young audience into buying the palette when it came out. That conspiracy palette he did with Jeffree Star. Did you notice those bits throughout the series where he kept being like, oh, I'm just really anxious because what if it doesn't sell out? What if no one buys it? You're Shane Dawson, you have over 20 million followers. You could sell your bathwater and people would buy it. And I always see a lot of people saying, oh, I just think that Shane's a bit naive and he believes people too much and he's gullible. Please, why is the guy mollycoddled? He's 30, 31, and he's been on YouTube for over 10 years. You don't stay relevant, increasingly relevant, on a internet platform for that long by being gullible and easily manipulated. Like, are you kidding? Why are we saying this? Why are we saying this about a 30-year-old adult? I don't get it. I don't get it. I can absolutely respect the fact that anyone can have issues no matter how rich or famous you are. Of course, I understand that. But when you are rich and famous, you're in a better position to deal with these issues head on by getting a really good therapist or going to counselling or whatever it may be, like having rehab. I guess I just don't really buy it because only a few years ago he was edgy as fuck. And now he's turned into someone that edgy Shane would have made fun of. I also have FaZe Banks. I'm just trying to offend like every single fan group there is on the internet. I have FaZe Banks on there. I think it's because imagine being him and then cheating on Alyssa Violet. Are you fucking kidding? Like, come on, dude. Girls aren't with you because of your winning personality.
Trash. And I get on the fucking plane and I'm like 6 mimosas deep because I'm pre-gaming for Vegas, and I went to breakfast with Mike that morning and just decided to get fucking rocked on mimosas before my flight, before I had to travel all day. Not all day, it's an hour flight.
You have a drinking problem?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Do you think I have a drinking problem?
No, I'm just...
Very tight.
He's waiting.
And I was in my head, I was like, yo, as soon as this fucking flight takes off, I'm gonna fucking make myself throw up in the aisle. I'm gonna go fucking drop a fat shit in the bathroom and not flush it. I'm gonna hit the little light 25 times and ask for fucking a million different weird things. And I'm just gonna make this bitch's life miserable for an hour.
No, there was something recently about how he trashed a hotel room and did 30 grand's worth of damage, and I watched him talking about it on someone's podcast, and I was just so thoroughly impressed by him. Like, you're almost 30 and you're famous because you have like this clan of streamers where you play video games. You're not fucking Johnny Depp. Why are you acting like this? Grow up.
I'm 86 forever. It cost a lot of fucking money. I'm not going to talk about how much money it cost.
Damn it. That's the part I wanted to hear.
I'm not
I mean, I know, but...
truthfully, to be honest, I don't know the total amount. That's what's so scary, because it happened kind of a minute ago, and they're still like
assessing. And they can tell you that they're charging you whatever,
listen,
right?
Listen.
It's a $30,000 hotel room. Why not?
Like you said, 5,000 employees. We got people. We've been talking to them from the beginning. What's funny was like the aftermath, right? Like the immediate aftermath. Like I was like coming down from like sending it and fucking just being crazy, and like I kind of just realized what the fuck I did, especially with the window. The window was broke, so I was like, oh my god, like what do I do? Like how can I finesse myself out of this situation? Like what can I actually do right now?
I just don't get it. Like, you guys aren't rock stars, okay? You got famous from, I don't fucking know what they play, Fortnite or Call of Duty or something. Come on, let's like get some perspective. And then he manages to bag a girl like Alyssa Violet, who was probably in a very low place when she met him after dealing with, you know, Jake Paul and all of his insanity. And then you have the audacity to cheat on her several times in your own home. Get some self-awareness. And then the last one I have is Emma Chamberlain, though not really. So recently Emma Chamberlain released some coffee, like strainable in a bag coffee, and she's been copping a lot of flack because it's, you know, fairly expensive stuff, right? It's like $60 for a bunch of bags of this coffee. But firstly, Emma Chamberlain loves coffee. I'm glad that she's doing something that's so on brand for her, whereas some people will do things like, I don't know, fucking ghost write a book just to make money. Secondly, I've seen people rag on her about this, but they probably didn't say anything when, you know, Shane Dawson was selling those pig backpacks for like $80. I'm just not gonna sit here and slag off an 18-year-old girl. Maybe it is a bit overpriced, but I haven't tried it. I don't know how smooth it is, how good it is, like how well sourced the ingredients are. Maybe it's really, really fucking good coffee. And sometimes, like, you know, quality products are expensive. It's like getting an expensive chocolate bar. If people want to buy it off her, then, well, let them. I don't think she's scamming anyone. And also, as she is 18, this wouldn't all be down to her. It's not like Zoella selling a calendar for £50 that was full of glitter when Zoella is a few years older than me and should know better. Emma's an 18-year-old girl who would have a team around her advising her. So if you find the coffee too expensive, I don't think you can throw all of the blame at her. It's like she did some merch that was really poorly received because you couldn't, like, the pictures were all blurred out. You couldn't see what you were actually ordering. Which was a, you know, a bit of a cock-up, absolutely. But who was in charge of that? Like, who did that? Because it's not just Emma doing stuff by herself when she's still very young. These people have teams around them. It's a bit like TanaCon. Where were her managers and people around her? I don't know, I suppose I just feel as though people like Emma are held under a microscope and scrutinised whatever they do. And I'm not going to join in on dogpiling an 18-year-old. Because I'm an adult and I'm better than that. I just slag off other adults. Like Shane Dawson and everyone else on YouTube, apparently. Actually, one more thing that I wasn't going to mention, but I think I will now. Sure, fuck it, why not? So, tension is pretty high right now because of the shit that's going on in Iran. And James Charles made a tweet of him dressed up, presenting as a female, saying, "This is me when, you know, the army comes to try to get me into draft." And I think it got like over 200,000 likes. But then someone quote tweeted it complaining, saying that they don't like that like a cis male was using transgenderism as a joke. And he says that's not what he was doing. He was just riffing on the fact that he's a boy and he doesn't want to be involved in a war. I will absolutely hold my hands up and say I have criticised James Charles in the past for things like the $500 tickets. I felt that that was a bit entitled. In light of the whole Tati situation and how quick everyone was to demonise him, and even I was to an extent, which I'm absolutely not proud of, I've slightly changed my mind towards James Charles. Yes, I absolutely do think that he is very arrogant and can be a bit bratty and can act entitled. However, if he so much as breathes wrong, people are so quick to try to cancel him. All the fucking time. He was making a joke about the mounting tension between the US and Iran right now, which, by the way, everyone is fucking doing on Twitter. You should go onto the dank memes subreddit right now. It's hilarious. It's very on the nose, but it's hilarious. Everyone is making memes about it because what the hell can you do in a high stress situation? Like, sit here and cry? No, everyone's making a bit of a joke out of it because it alleviates some tension. Honestly, I really think that if Jeffree Star had made that same tweet, you wouldn't have people being like, "Oh, I don't find this funny." You'd have people being like, "Yes, Queen, slay us, draft us." I do feel recently that James Charles is unfairly scrutinised as well. Certainly there are times to criticise him. Like, he tried to make a video of him rapping his makeup routine. No, sweetie.
Hi sisters, welcome back to my channel. You might think me rapping will be too much to handle, but before you all disappear like Randall, listen, cause this video is lit like a candle.
But other times it's just a bit like, oh, take a day off. Leave him alone for 1 second. I feel like this video has just become my unpopular opinions because people aren't going to bloody agree with me. And that's absolutely fine. You can disagree with me all you like. That's just like how I feel at this current moment in time. Might be different by next week. Next week I might be like, oh, bloody hell, piss off, James. But at the moment, just feel a bit bad for him. I think a little bit of this, though, stems from the fact that, well, with the Shane Dawson series, they decided to cut out the drama because it was old tea, even though the trailer featured very heavily the quote-unquote drama-geddon and James Charles versus Tati stuff.
In my bones won't rattle tonight. Oh. Burn the sash and smash the tea. Oh. No, that's not me, I'll never.
Which was a situation that had a lot of people condemning James, myself included a little bit, and I'm not happy about that, because from my standpoint, I saw someone like Jeffree Star, who I thought was reputable, saying XYZ against James, and a lot of people got taken in by that, with claims of, oh, Jeffree has receipts on James, and, you know, he's this, that, and the other. A lot of commentators got taken in by that. So then for Shane and Jeffree to turn around and just act like, it was just old tea, it's not worth bringing up. Okay, this isn't about being catty and saying that someone's eyelashes look bad. This was about sexual predator accusations. That's not fucking old tea, when that is stuff that, even though James had his name cleared, can stay with someone and their reputation for the rest of their fucking life. It's not old tea when you're in your 30s and you're treating a young guy, young person, in that way, and hoodwinked so many people along the way into believing you. The fact that none of that got resolved because it's just been left as, oh, it was just old tea, fuck it, no one cares, I think it's like pretty gross. And I suppose that's where like my feelings towards James Charles has changed a little bit, and I feel like a little bit sorry for him, because he absolutely has his faults, but to be demonised as some sort of sexual predator, and then it's just, you know, oh, it's just drama, like stale tea. And at the same time, he breathes wrong and people want to cancel him. Meanwhile, Jeffree is so rude to a lot of his audience on Twitter. He always like deletes the tweets though. He's so like fucking rude and snappy, but it's fine because he's just being sassy. Or Shane is incredibly disorganised and promises, oh, it'll be out then, and then it isn't. But then because the Shopify website crashed on the launch day, he's then screaming at people, being like, well, fix it, just...
Come on, we do this every time. You know what it is. 9:58. Why is my site broken? This is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Like, I cannot believe this.
So it's a try. It's a stab.
Well, but who's asking that?
Shopify.
Fix it.
Cool. Can we please do that?
I'm not booting these kids. There's a kid in a hospital bed right now who has a fucking laptop.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
But that's fine, because it's just heat of the moment, and you know, he's just passionate. He's really passionate about people buying their palettes. Nothing to do with the millions that they all made. I'm so stunning and brave right now, but I literally don't care if people disagree with me. Like, it's absolutely fine. It's just how I feel as an adult. Anyway, so that's all for this video. This was a rant about the entitlement of YouTubers. I do hope you enjoyed it, even though I think it's going to be quite polarising, but it should make for some interesting discussion in the comments below. Either that, or everyone's just going to be like, Alizee, you're a fucking cunt. See you next time.